Our new graduates today can look forward to a period of national stability, safe in the knowledge that neither the present Prime Minister nor the likely alternatives are fat people. This is the attribute which led to Winston Churchill's loss of popularity with the electorate, according to their contemporary philosopher and wit, Adrian Mole, that great British phenomenon of our time. Adrian Mole is the creation of the most original British writer of the last decade, Sue Townsend, a lady with a working-class background who had a most unpromising start to her life. She was born in Leicester, where she still lives. Unable to read until she was 8, she failed not only her 11 plus, but even her cycling proficiency test. Clearly, she was cut out to be a failure. When she did start reading, she was soon into the William books and has been a prolific reader ever since. She went to the South Wixton Girls' School, where she developed a liking for history and geography, but was really only good at hurdling. She wrote a little for the school magazine and left with an undistinguished school record at the age of 15 and started her working career with some simple jobs, such as folding boxes for Bird's Eye. Another was working on a hot dog stand. And then she took what turned out to be a major step forward. She became the forecourt attendant at a garage, not often a gateway to glory. Fortunately, the garage was not a successful business, so she spent a lot of time on her own in the little box on the forecourt reading and secretly writing black adolescent stuff. Quite early on, she knew that she wanted to be a writer and did so in secret, overshadowed by the success of Joe Orton. This local lad of similar background, whose outrageous writings and behavior attracted both admiration and approbation, was an early idol. She longed for the courage to come out as a writer, but there was a distinct lack of encouragement from those around her. Married at 18 and left to bring up 3 babies on her own, she found time, amazingly, to write between nappy changes at all times of the day and night. Her second husband, a canoeist, persuaded her to attend a writer's workshop at the Phoenix Art Theatre in Leicester. And for the first 6 weeks or so, she was one of those silent members at the back of the class. Panic set in when she had to do some homework and present it to the rest of the class. This started her on her career as a writer. She wrote Woombarang, for which she won a TV bursary, and began to produce stories and plays which won local acclaim. Her dozen or so plays since then include The Great Celestial Cow, The Ghost of Daniel Lambert, about Leicester's famous fat man of over 50 stone, a life-size statue of whom fills her garage. Her plays have been performed in Leicester, the West End of London, and elsewhere in the country. The scope of her perceptive writing was extended by her work for radio, which ranged from The Ashes, about the rather serious subject of cricket, to various kinds of late-night erotica. Her best-known creation, of course, is Adrian Mole. Whether based on her own experience, which her family will deny, or her acute perception of people about her, the broadcasting of his diaries on a book at bedtime assured her of a devoted audience. The characters came vividly to life, and their humor is delicious. It was natural that their adaptation for the theatre and television should become outstanding successes. The Secret Diary of Adrian Mole, aged 13 3/4, and its sequel, The Growing Pains of Adrian Mole, have become bestsellers. Both have sold over 5 million in the United Kingdom alone and have been translated into 27 languages. The diaries contain the vividly expressed emotions of adolescent boys and girls trying to behave like adults while the adults around them behave like children. They have provided a greater insight into contemporary British family life than those of Samuel Pepys. Another important work reflecting the rotten nature of our society, Rebuilding Coventry, often found in the architecture section of libraries, is a brilliant observational farce about a lady named Coventry who had to abandon her young family to escape the law. But we shall be hearing more about Adrian, who is now grown up, when he returns from Moscow. We have to be a little patient because Sue is in such great demand as a writer of books and plays for the stage, radio, and television. Her successes have enabled her to move from Highfields to a vicarage in Stonygate, but have not dimmed her ability to make shrewd observations of those about her, even though her characters are now turgid with Waitrose wine and Sierra socialism. She herself now has 2 cars, but is still to pass a driving test. We honor her today for her contribution to the gaiety of nations and the fame of Leicester by giving her the qualification for the job she has been doing for the last 12 years with such outstanding success. Mr. Chancellor, on the recommendation of the Senate and the Council, I present Susan Townsend, that you may confer upon her the honorary degree of Master of Arts.
Madam, I admit you to the degree of Master of Arts, and we welcome you among us. Congratulations.